What is going on, everyone? It's Luke here again. I'm going to bring you another, hopefully, awesome video. This time we are talking about Bqool. This is the repricer I use with and for my Amazon business. There are others, of course, but I haven't really tried them out, so I'm not going to sort of mention them on this video. But will I be keeping Bqool come Q1 is the question we're going to ask ourselves here. Because as you've seen sort of from the last couple of videos, I'm going to be, obviously I've maximised my, basically I've increased my expenses to improve my Amazon business over Q4 as much as possible, obviously to smash those sales, but come Q1 I'm going to rein it back in to basically, so I'm not hemorrhaging all this extra money but the sales aren't sort of like justified, because obviously what will happen is that it doesn't matter sometimes. Definitely in January, it doesn't matter how much you're pushing, you just can't force those sales through like you can in Q4. So for me, knowing that that is the case, I'd rather start back at a base level at the expenses with the things I'm subscribed to, and then increase it rather than have to rein it back in, you know, to control it because it's sort of a high value. And so I'm going to be talking about Bqool and will I keep it? And the question is, to some capacity. So if we go here for the pricing, basically these ones are going to be if you have private label and that sort of thing, but if you just click the repricing center there, which is what you would need. Yeah, if you want 14-day free trial, not a problem. And you can see here it's across Europe as well, so UK, you can ignore the US and Canada and Mexico and Japan, but yeah. So, and it's in dollars, and I would say you could do it annually. So a good tactic, well, an interesting thing I was thinking at some point is if you basically subscribe to all of your things annually in, say, January, then February, March, April, all of your months after that are basically expenses free because you paid it up front. But the issue with this is that you can't then take it back. So, for example, if I took out the most expensive deal, what if in 4 months, 5 months time I want to change it because I feel it isn't really going to give me value, you know? You get what I'm trying to say? So I feel like just paying that a little bit more probably saves you more over the year. So don't really look at the annual unless you know that this time next, you know, you're going to be needing that level of assistance for the whole year. So what you see here is that I had this level for a good chunk of the year, and now I currently have this. This is actually what I have here. And I have it across Europe as well, so you can't actually go onto the Europe one. I actually got a deal. There was an email because I was subscribed, obviously, I got an email saying that there was a sort of Q4 offer. So I got, basically this is what I was looking for. So, and obviously the enhanced listings, but I don't have that many, of course. So realistically, this is the one you want to at least have. And this is what I've got at the moment, and yes, it says hot, so that's just to get you to buy it. Nothing special about that. So I keep the monthly, and the reason I did this is because over Q4 I wanted the repricer to update my prices every 5 minutes. Why? Because think about it. If you're doing the 15 minutes, which is nothing wrong with it, then if someone updates their price, it takes up to 15 minutes for the repricer to realise and then update your price. But in Q4, the 10 minutes difference between obviously doing it within 5 or 15, so a 10-minute difference, you could do so many sales potentially, and that's on across every product, if you get what I'm trying to say. So what happens is that those 10 minutes, imagine the number of sales that if you were in the buy box, you could get across all of your listings. It could be huge. So that's the reason I wanted to maximise my exposure to the buy box during Q4 as much as I could. Yeah. So that I can try to get in and out as quick as possible. That's what you want to do in Q4. You want to get your money in and out as fast as you can to maximise those basically to maximise your buy box coverage. For example, if you go out of stock on an item, then let's say you were on the buy box in 50 items, now it's less, so you're going to get less sales. You get what I'm trying to say? So you want to do the opposite and maximise the buy box as much as possible. So you want to get it in and out so that you have listings live, as many listings live as possible. and this just helped. So you can use this for next Q4 as a little, I know it's late now and you could have used it before, but I think of Amazon, selling on Amazon, I'm starting to think of it more as a yearly thing rather than a monthly or even a quarterly, because you need, like I saw a lot of people saying, oh, but my this, that and the other, but you really need to look at everything in a year, because different seasons and different quarters give you different results. So you can't really reflect on Q1 against Q3 or Q1 on Q4 because they're completely different. So you have to understand them and then maximize what you can do for each, if you get what I'm trying to say. So don't look, oh, but my Q1 isn't like, it's irrelevant, because everyone's like that. It's like saying sometimes you fancy sweet stuff, sometimes you fancy savoury stuff. You don't know why, it just is, but you can't compare. You can't really compare them because they're completely different. So Q1, yes, you probably compare a little bit to Q2, but you couldn't really compare it to Q3 as much as Q2. And then Q4, you definitely couldn't compare to Q1. So yeah, that's the sort of mindset behind it. So what I will be doing is I have this, and for Europe, I have it across Europe. I'm actually going to be bringing it back down to this, because where in Q1 your buy box coverage isn't as important, because you're not going to be losing as many sales, if you get what I'm trying to get at. So in that 10 minutes difference between here and here, you might only get one sale instead of maybe 10 sales in Q4. So 10, it's more important in Q4. Q1, you're not losing as many sales, or you might not be losing any because no one might buy that item in that 10 minutes. You get one, yeah. And obviously that's $75, which is what, £60. So and that's £60 just on one thing. Like obviously, if you're sort of reining back many expenses, you could save yourself £200–300 a month, which it all adds up in the end. So I'll be bringing it back down to this, and I won't be including Europe. Now let's see if we can jump back onto this. Yeah. So this is just a quick sort of brief thing. This is basically an item I've just checked. It's an old item that I was selling, Lego, whatever. So I've gone to the repricer. So where I won't have Europe anymore, how do you know what it should sell for in Europe? How do you set your prices in Europe? Because obviously Europe could be, if you can find those gems, I found a handful of items that sell great in Europe, but I wouldn't have known that if I didn't have access to the European side of things on this, because I can see here on the buy box, so it shows me the buy box price, yeah? So some items, and obviously the ranks there and all that sort of thing, is that it might sell okay or decent in the UK, but it could sell great in Europe. It could sell even more. Like it could be ranked 20,000 in the UK, and actually it's 3,000 in whatever this is, France, I think. So you can really get a lot. If you find a handful of gems, that a lot of people don't always look at Europe as well. Yeah, there are people that do, but not as many as the UK. But if you don't have this, then how are you going to try to maximize your European sales if you can't? Well, you can go onto just normal Amazon and actually set your European prices, but it's free, and it will potentially be a bit worse, but for short term, definitely for the January, I would say rein it back, and it's not, just don't basically try to, you have different mindsets, but for me, because I'm now looking at everything as a yearly project, I'm going to take, I don't need to keep everything full throttle, because I'm actually going to, I've got 12 months to build up that momentum again. January, slow down, then push forward February, March, so on. And you can just go and do a free repricer anyway on the items, and do it that way. And I just checked here. This is the item. I basically just checked quickly if see, I've got MyBot Pro here. So what you can actually do is I just did this as a demonstration. Let's say you bought it for that, and that's the current price it's selling for. If you turn on EFN fees, obviously double check that it's correct. It's saying that the profit is $18. Sorry, 18 euros. Now I just checked in here to see if that was, because if I'm not going to have this European side of things anymore, see, I'm in France, if I'm not going to be able to drop down this, and I'm only going to have access to the UK, then how do I know what to sell them the products for? How do I know what? Because this gives you the the breakdown, if you get what I'm trying to say, yeah? So I've on VAT register 7.5, it gives you the breakdown here. So I can clearly see that I'm making, that it's not going to be exact. So you've got to take these fees with a little bit of a pinch of salt in terms of this might be €12.90 or something, yeah? So it's slightly different, not huge. So if you make sure your ROI isn't like 28-30%, it's a bit higher. It's at least say 38%, I'd say. You can, if you're making, if that profit's €40, sure. Like if you have it on 30%, instead of having €40, you're gonna have 37, 36. It's not, you're still getting a decent return. So I wouldn't worry too much there. But it's when you're getting the lower returns that I'd keep that at about 38. So obviously here you could bring that down, of course, but this is just a demonstration. So you can see here, profit €14. What we're going to do here is put that as 73.47, 73.47, like that. So here we go. So it's saying estimated profit is about €20.60, it's saying. But obviously on here it's saying 18. So it's €2 out. But as I said, this is usually slightly out, so I would always expect a little less, which you can see here. So this is a sort of good, this result or this answer, 60% with this, is quite a good basis to trust in terms of the price and the fees and how much you're going to make. So if you haven't got access to this, where you're able to see when you actually go into Amazon and just do the free version, which is built into the the platform, you can refer to your BuyBook Pro here and do it that way. And yes, it will be a little bit more time consuming, but you could get a virtual assistant to do that if that's something that you were looking to do. They realistically, per day that they work, it's what, £18, £15 it probably costs. So that's and that's obviously just, and it wouldn't even take them the whole day, take them half a day, or take them 4 hours or 3 hours. So the cost is, or you just do it yourself. But obviously a lot of the items you see that the rank here 854,000, yeah. So it's not, those items I don't really, I only basically I use this information for that. So yes, it is better and cleaner and all that, but for me, I'm not going to be doing, the sales won't be good basically in Q1, in January, not Q1 as such, but the January period. But it'd be interesting to see, because I'm going to just adopt different tactics this year, so it will actually be interesting to see, and I'll sort of report back and tell you what actually comes about in January, because until I actually do this January with my new tactics, which is basically not to sell toys, yeah, it'd be interesting to see, because last year I basically had 90% toys, so anything that I had left in stock after Christmas was all toys, and I just, and a lot of people were in the same boat, so a lot of people just sort of wanted to sell it off, so the prices were sort of nothing, break even or 20% or 15% return, which is nothing really, and that's sort of how it worked. So yeah, as you can see, this is, I'll leave a link in the description for if you want to sign up basically to Bqool. I quite like it, I actually do. I did try Reprice for Express, but I didn't try it properly, so it's hard to say. Obviously, you just want the repricer center here. You can read up on it all here. It's got lots of stuff. I've probably done a video on Bqool before, so if you want to go back into the history, you'll find Bqool. Yeah, I find them good. They're decent. It does what it's going to say, and then if you can also just reprice. There's lots of different rules. Basically, I would just say take your time on the rules. Just read them. They're pretty. You can understand them once you read through them. Gently, slowly. But yeah, that will be my tactic for Q4. So Q1, reduce that down, and that's just another little element I'm going to be reducing down, plus loads of other bits to basically get my expenses as low as I can, or for Q1, and assess the situation after January. So January is really, a lot of people probably will just try to push on, but just for that 1 month in January, I'm going to be really just refreshing myself almost, yeah? Refreshing everything I'm doing. And then use that as a catapult, a planning month, whatever you want to call it, to catapult me through the rest of the year. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there because I know a lot of the time my videos are so long, but I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and you got some good insight into not only Bqool itself, but a couple of things that I sort of mentioned about it and what I'm going to be doing. Yeah, so you can sort of use it yourself if you want or whatever. Anyway, I'll leave the links in the description for the various bits like Bqool Pro and Bqool if you want to check them out. If you haven't already, which I'm sure a lot of you have. Smash the thumbs up, subscribe, the usual stuff, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.